Yes. I can't hear. Are we muted?
No.
No.
Yes.
Yes. Can they see us?
Can you see us?
You unmute your line, Schenectady?
We're not muted.
Are you sure?
Screen.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
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 Well, we need to hear you, okay?
You have the dial.
He did thumbs up that he could hear us.
But we can't hear that.
Can you hear us?
Yes, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Well enough. Don't say much.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
No. Get that governor's address with the tattoos on.
Don't quit your day job.
Okay, we're,
Put it close.
New York Racing Parimutuel Wagering and Breeding Law, Section 102, provides that the New York State Gaming Commission shall consist of 7 members appointed by the governor by and with the advice and consent of the Senate. 4 members confirmed by the New York State Senate are necessary to afford the commission an ability to establish a quorum and to undertake action. The commission is now called to order. The secretary will read the roll.
John Crotty,
Here.
Peter Machete,
Here.
Brian O'Dwyer.
Here.
Christopher Riano.
Here.
Marissa Shorenstein. Here. Jerry Skurnick.
Here. Secretary, please have the record reflect that a quorum of qualified members are present, thus enabling the transaction of business. Also note that there are visual and oral, bilateral visual, oral, and communications between Schenectady, where Commissioner Machete sits, and Manhattan, where the remaining members of the commission sit. Bernard?
This commission meeting conducted on December 12 have been provided. My task. The reading is John. Reflect. Now, as I had indicated to the commissioners at our last meeting, I had asked that our executive director give a report to the commission on the activities of staff. For this first time, Director Mr. Williams is going to deliver his report. Take note of it and ask any questions if they want. Mr. Williams.
Thank you. Since we last met, there have been a few developments within our industry that have played. Part S of Section 6 of Chapter 39 of the laws of 2019 authorized the establishment of a video lottery gaming facility in Orange County to be operated by Monticello Racing United. On the 28th of December, this allowance was met with the opening in Newburgh of Resorts World Hudson Valley. The facility, which employs 228, has 1,107 video lottery gaming devices and 82 electronic table games. In the first day of operation, Resorts World Hudson Valley netted $679,000 on a handle of $7.7 million. Since opening on the 28th, Resorts World Hudson Valley has contributed $2.25 million to public education. The 50,000 square foot facility is located in the Newburgh Mall, the former home of the Bonton. The space had been vacant since the fourth quarter of 2021. On January 3rd, 2023, the Gaming Facility Location Board issued its request for applications for the additional commercial casino licenses authorized by Part RR of Chapter 56 of the laws of 2022. Initial return items are the first round of bidder questions, which are due to be submitted to the Gaming Facility Location Board by February 3rd, 2023. The board unanimously determined that the minimum capital investment and license fee for the applicants seeking to build a commercial casino is $500 million each. By statute, a separate appointed Community Advisory Committee will review applications. In addition, the successful completion of municipal zoning and land use processes will ensure that only projects embraced by a community would be presented for the board for their consideration. Gaming Facility Location Board chose not to impose artificial deadlines other than the due date for the first round of questions and the return date for the applications, which is 30 days from the board's response to the second set of questions. After the return date for the RFA, a Community Advisory Committee for each application received will be formed and obtain a completed copy of the associated application materials for their review. The Horse Racing Integrity and Safety Authority anti-doping and medication program was scheduled to become operational on January 10th of this year, following the adoption of governing rules. However, the Federal Trade Commission, under which the HISA rules are subject, declined to publish the drug rules until constitutional issues were resolved. Recall in November, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals found infirmities in the exercise of the control under the Horse Racing Integrity and Safety Act. A legislative fix regarding the constitutional infirmities was included in the federal omnibus reconciliation bill, which passed both the House and the Senate and was signed into law by President Biden on the 28th of December. HISA has announced they have resubmitted their program rules to the FTC for approval and anticipates the FTC will post the rules to the Federal Register in the coming weeks. Once the rules are posted, there will be another public comment period, and following that comment period, the FTC will have 60 days to approve or deny the rules. Based on the absolute most optimistic timeline, the program could go into effect in mid-March of 2023. And the last item I want to mention today regards mobile sports wagering. Just marked the end of the first full year of mobile sports wagering operation. During this year, the total mobile sports wagering handle reached $16.5 billion and generated net revenue to education of $709 million. An additional $200 million in licensing fees was also collected. According to GeoComply, which is a software firm used to ensure geolocation requirements, since initiation in New York, there have been over 3.8 million unique player accounts created and over 1.2 transactions have been processed. In addition to the education revenue, 1.2 billion transactions. In addition to the education revenue, $5 million was directed this year or this past year to fund sports programs for underserved youths, and $6 million has been used to fund problem gambling education and treatment.
William, do you have any of the questions? The update, and we look forward to next meeting. Rulemaking. New York State Racing Parimutuel Wagering Breeding Law, authorized promulgate rules and regulations that it deems necessary to carry out its responsibility. In that regard, the Commission will promulgate amendments still into the State Administrative Procedure Act. Today, we have one. William.
For Commission consideration are amendments to the rule governing the content of casino license applications. Licensees are licensed pursuant to Title II of Article 13 of the Racing, Parimutuel Wagering, and Breeding Law. Racing Law Section 1313.1 directed the Commission and the Gaming Facility Location Board to prescribe the form of application, which the Commission did by promulgating Commission Rules 5301.1 and 5301.2. The proposal in front of you is intended to correspond to existing rules to the changes in state law that enable the additional casino license process. Staff recommends that the Commission propose this rule.
amendment? Hearing none, may I have a motion? Second,
Second.
any discussions? Hearing none. Favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Carries. Williams, the next item, please.
Certainly, as you may be aware, there's a national shortage in the number of veterinarians in the United States, with demand outstripping availability. This is particularly acute with large animal veterinarians. The Commission has been affected by the shortage, with the recruitment of licensed veterinarians for employment as a supervising racing veterinarian in state test farms being a continuing challenge. Commission veterinarians collect biologic specimens and supervise the sealing, labeling, storage, and shipment of these samples to the New York Drug Testing and Research Laboratory at Morrisville State College, which conducts testing and analysis. These veterinarians are also responsible for undertaking lameness examinations when rules require. Commission staff is in a state of continual search for qualified veterinary candidates. New York law generally prohibits persons employed by the Commission if, during the period commencing 3 years prior to the proposed employment, they were employed by an association or corporation engaged in gaming activity within the state. During the 2019 legislative session, the general prohibition was changed, and now the Commission may, by resolution adopted by unanimous vote at a properly noticed public meeting, waive for good cause the pre-employment restrictions for a prospective employee whose duties and responsibilities are primarily on racetrack grounds. By law, the resolution must detail the reasons for the waiving of the pre-employment conditions for the prospective employee and include a finding that there were no other qualified candidates with the desired experience for the specified position. Despite best efforts, including postings, direct electronic mailings, engagement of trade groups, discussion with the staff of the Cornell University's College of Veterinary Medicine, among other things, the Commission remains without full staffing of veterinarians with flexibility to accept work assignments on an unneeded basis. A recently retired regulatory veterinarian from the New York Racing Association has offered to undertake supervising racing veterinarian roles as needed at both thoroughbred and standardbred tracks with the flexibility of service. Staff seeks consideration of employment waiver for Anthony R. Verderosa. Dr. Verderosa is a 1987 graduate of the Iowa State University College of Veterinary Medicine and worked in private practice as an equine practitioner in Florida and Kentucky from graduation through 1996 when he joined the NYRA veterinary staff. During his time at NYRA, Dr. Verderosa held positions of increasing responsibility, serving first as an examining veterinarian, then as chief examining veterinarian, including his employment as director of the veterinary department. His decades of experience as a NYRA regulatory veterinarian gives Dr. Verderosa unparalleled experience with the health and welfare of equine athletes. Well known to and respected by Commission staff, Dr. Verderosa last worked at NYRA on December 31st, 2022, and has recently surrendered his Commission-issued occupational license as a racing official, which governed his position at NYRA.
Will you read the proposed resolution?
Certainly. Resolution number 01/2023. Whereas the New York State Legislature passed a law prohibiting any person from being appointed to or employed by the Commission if, during the period commencing 3 years prior to appointment or employment, such person held direct or indirect interest in or employment by any corporation, association, or person engaged in gaming activity within the state. And whereas the law was amended by Part BB of Chapter 59 of the laws of 2019 in relation to pre-employment restrictions for certain prospective Commission employees. Whereas under the amended law, the Commission may, by resolution adopted by unanimous vote at a properly noticed public meeting, waive for good cause the pre-employment restrictions for a prospective employee whose duties and responsibilities are primarily on racetrack grounds, so long as the resolution details the reasons for waiving and the pre-employment conditions for the prospective employee and includes a finding that there are no other qualified candidates with the desired experience for the specified position. Whereas the commission has experienced difficulty, despite substantial recruitment efforts, in identifying licensed veterinarians to work as a standardbred racing veterinarian in test barns of thoroughbred and standardbred racetracks to collect biologic specimens and to supervise the sealing, labeling, storage, and shipment of these samples to the New York State Drug Testing and Research Laboratory for drug testing purposes and to perform certain lameness examinations as regulations require. And whereas the commission is in dire need of full-time and part-time veterinarians with flexibility to work irregular schedules and fulfill the requirements of veterinary staffing at racetracks operating throughout the state. And whereas the commission has been presented with the opportunity to flexibly employ a uniquely qualified applicant possessing decades of experience and training with a deep understanding of New York laws and medication rules, as well as substantial knowledge of racing and backstretch operations. Whereas this veterinarian has, during the period commencing 3 years prior to potential state employment, been employed by an association conducting horse racing within the state. And whereas the commissioners find the position of supervising racing veterinarian to be integral to the execution of certain on-track duties and responsibilities of the commission, and whereas the prospective employee's duties and responsibilities are primarily limited to racetrack grounds, and whereas only one uniquely qualified candidate has been identified who possesses the desired experience and flexibility for vacant veterinary positions. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the commission hereby finds that there were no other qualified candidates with the desired experience and flexibility to perform the requisite duties of a supervising racing veterinarian, and at this properly noticed public meeting, waives for good cause the pre-employment restrictions for Dr. Anthony N. Verderosa to be employed as a supervising racing veterinarian. Be it further resolved that the commission chair be authorized to sign this resolution indicating the unanimous assent of the commission to its contents herein. Secretary, will you call the roll?
Brian O'Dwyer,
I have a motion to.
Brian O'Dwyer,
Hold on a second, Krista.
Okay. I have said all have been previously advised of this proposal. Are there any questions on proposed resolution 101? Number 1, 2023. Waive employment restrictions for Anthony Verderosa to work as a supervising. Hearing none, may I have a motion to propose this resolution?
So moved.
Friday, may I have a second?
Second.
Secretary, please call the roll and please indicate your vote, commissioners. I know that for this resolution to pass, it must be unanimous.
Brian O'Dwyer,
Yay?
Brian O'Dwyer,
Yay?
He only gets one vote.
John Crotty,
Yay.
Peter Machete,
Yay.
Christopher Riano,
Yay.
Marissa Shorenstein,
Yay.
Jerry Skurnick.
Hey,
The secretary, please have the minutes reflect that the resolution was adopted by unanimous vote. Public standards required of New York Racing Parimutuel Wagering and Club 107 have been satisfied. Be new or old business. None, I just want to make my report to the commission regularly. First of all, I want to note that I was at the meeting of the site selection board for the casinos licenses, and that the RFA has gone out. I think we've all been through that, but the question. regarding the RFA, I back at least in 30 years, and it's set out. As part of that, I noted that there was a quiet period. Quiet period is that nobody in the commission, staff, or the site selection board is to be approached. And any such approaches, if they are approached by people in bidding or lobbyists, must be reported. I have asked our commission staff to give us, as soon as they get the information, a list of which people who are interested, the entities that are interested in bidding on the and also those people that have been hired as representatives to speak on those behalf. I note, we all know articles that have appeared in the media in regard to the casinos, and the intense public interest that there has been. All of us will have been or will be asked questions in that regard. Some of them very innocently by friends of ours or acquaintances who have really nothing to do with it, but others might be proceedings. It is for that reason that it's important that know who has expressed an interest. So as soon as we get that, soon Williams will do that on a rolling basis as soon as we start expressing interest. How that, I caution my colleagues as myself that specific that discuss process or the bidding of anyone who has an interest in it.
Yeah, I mean, knowing that list would be very helpful.
Okay. A few other things that I wanted to bring up. I have asked what our general counsel, we had some discussions self say on the impropriety of universities offering promotions to students to engage in gambling at casinos or other. I've asked our general counsel to give us a memo as to what action, if any, this commission could take. I know that I am very offended by that type of action. Myself, I've seen some articles in the council has asked for additional time to come back to that, and that was fine. But that will be on the agenda for our I want you also to know that on the Thoroughbred Fund, my suggestion, the Thoroughbred Fund, among the other things they do is contribute for law to various entities that are engaged in aftercare of horses so that they can be, after their racing days are over, can live out their lives. And there are various entities that take care of those horses. The Thoroughbred Fund has been, over the past few years, giving money, having supported that. On February 21st, there will be I've asked them to have a reception and a ceremony where those checks will be given out, and what commissioners invited. It will be in Saratoga at the museum. I think it's important that that type of work. I've today, and we've had some more discussions with a Racing Association in regard to workers' housing. Follow up as we speak. Executive director and I are going to another visit out to Belmont backstretch within the near future. Really go over, even now in the cold weather, to assess the workers' housing and to get a much more concrete proposal from NYRA. I with us, I think we need to be a lot clearer and specificity as to what's going to happen. I note that they have that is proceeding with housing. Again, I want to compliment NYRA. There are difficulties there because of the Historic Commission. This is really very important. You know that NYRA has plans for NYRA to extensive renovation of Belmont luxury boxes. It's incumbent on this commission looking at that, ensure that along with the luxury boxes is decent workers' housing. It's one of them, obviously. Finally, I was with the commission staff visit SeaWorld, Resort World Casino at Aqueduct, and had a interesting and very productive time. The extent of quite impressive. And look forward to a lot of the facilities with the staff. So I haven't go that far. And that is my report to the commission. Thank you. That includes agendas. Is there any other issues come before the board? Hearing none, may I have a motion to adjourn? Ready? Second? Favor? Aye. Thank you.
I was looking to do housing.